People think I'm stuck up, but I'm actually fighting something they can't see. I don't go out much. Actually, I don't go out at all unless it's something important like grocery shopping or something that I have to really do. I don't like visitors. If you are coming over, I need to know beforehand. It's not because I don't like people, but because social spaces are overwhelming for me. I have social anxiety, and living with social anxiety is hard. But living with social anxiety inside a close-knit African community is a whole different battle. Because here, everyone knows everyone else. And whenever there's a gathering, a wedding, a traditional celebration, or any kind of celebration, you don't need to get invited. You are expected to come. That's our culture. It's the norm. And when you don't show up, people talk, people make assumptions, people misunderstand, and they judge you. But I do understand where they are coming from, because if I was them and I was looking at me from the outside, I would probably do the same thing that they are doing. Some people say I'm stuck up and I think I'm better than everyone else. Some ask why I'm always inside, why I never go out, why I isolate myself. And every time they ask these questions, I feel a deep pain in my bosom, because I've asked myself the very same question a million times before. One time, our neighbor had a wedding next door to where I stay, and I told myself, this time I'm going. I am going come hell or high waters. I am going to that wedding. So when the day came, I forced myself to go. I went, and I walked out of my yard alone because my mother had already left, and so I was feeling nervous as heck and overthinking, but I pushed on and I went anyway. So when I walked in, obviously I was late. I was already late. Everyone was seated, and I stood there with others who were standing. Yeah, I stood there. I greeted, and then I just felt awkward. I just felt awkward and out of place, and I started overthinking, and then I stood there for a few minutes, and then I decided to go back home to live. So I left. I left not because I was rude or I didn't care, but I left because the awkwardness was a bit overwhelming for me. So my body was screaming, go back home to your sanctuary. And so I abided. I left. I guess I should have stayed. I should have stayed longer, because that's how we overcome social anxiety, by doing it anyway, by doing it regardless of how you feel, just pushing on and pressing on. But I guess it got the better of me, and I ended up going home. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just shyness. It wasn't just being quiet. This started from my late teens to my late 20s. Those were the hardest years of my life, because I didn't understand myself. I didn't understand what was wrong with me. So I judged myself. I hated myself and I blamed myself. I became my own worst enemy. And because I'm also an introvert, I tried to change who I was to make other people comfortable. I tried to please everyone, but no matter how hard I tried to blend in, I couldn't. So I went ahead and joined people who were already unhappy with how I am, and I hated myself even more than they did. Until one day, I got tired of fighting myself, tired of apologizing for existing, tired of trying to fit into a life that was never designed for me. Today, I'm learning to love myself. I'm learning to accept that my struggles may look different, but they are still valid. I may not be what people are used to, but that doesn't make me proud. It doesn't make me better. It just makes me me. And that is finally enough.